Welcome. Today's topic is um, the functions of farmer, and the topic has been um, is going to be presented by His Grace Dr. Sree Kumar Prabhu. So, I would like to give a small brief on Sree Kumar Prabhu and Dr. Sree Kala Mataji. So Dr. Sree Kala Mataji is a humble wife of Sree Kumar Prabhu. And 1 minute, let me mute others. Yes. So I would like to give a small brief introduction about our today's speaker. So Dr. Sree Kumar Prabhu and Dr. Sree Kala Mataji, they are both are bachelors of veterinary science and animal husbandry, and with postgraduate certificate in veterinary homeopathy. So, like both are graduated from College of Veterinary Animal Sciences, that is in Kerala, in 1992. So they were actually working as not working. They already worked for veterinary officers in the dairy cooperative sector in Kerala. So that is about from, I think, 1992 to 2010, actually. So they both of them resigned from the dairy cooperative sector. Then they thought of, they did a lot of research on the holistic management, especially, and on the regenerative agriculture, and yeah, and and of course they want to live on the land and cows, and to practice it on their own land from 2011. Then after realizing that conventional management of animals actually did not facilitate for cows and other livestock to live their full lifespan, actually. So from 2013, they were serving as a holistic veterinarian in Gokuldam, Gokuldam Vedic Eco Village project, which is at Belgaum. Actually, they're serving as a now, like, they're into as a holistic veterinarians from ISKCON farm projects and also different private farm projects. And also, Dr. Sree Kumar Prabhu is also of our consultant of our IDVM India. So yeah, so they are dedicated to this service, and yeah. So I would request Dr. Sree Kumar Prabhu, please take on the today's session, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu, for this opportunity.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Welcome.
Welcome all to this second day of this Episode course. I hope I'm audible to all.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So yesterday we had a good session from Madhav Prabhu on the introduction of the course and how the course will be, what all the things the course will be giving you. And I also heard about the questions that were raised yesterday. It is all leading questions only, because all the questions that you have asked is being covered in either one of the sessions in this course. So there is needn't worry. All the questions will be answered to the best of our knowledge, and we are also happy to hear that you are all into natural farming. So it is a learning together. It's not that it's a one-side program. We are also going to learn a lot from you also. So let us start. Prabhuji, can you just permit me to share my screen?
Yes. I will do that, Prabhu. 1 minute. Yes, Prabhu, done.
Hare Krishna. So the the topic of this our program is the common sense approach to managing landscapes with biodiversity. So in that, today the topic that is the function of it or the functions of a farm. That is the topic that we. But actually, the main topic is the common sense approach to managing landscapes. We are all managing landscapes, and that managing with the biodiversity. That is the main topic. We being veterinarians, naturally, we have a context and the oath that we have taken, that being admitted to the profession of veterinary medicine, I solemnly swear to use my scientific knowledge and skills for the benefit of the society through the protection of animal health and welfare. So I cannot deviate from this. All the things that I am trying to say in this will be for the betterment of the animal health and their welfare. So nothing I can say speak about reducing their lifespan. It should be always to allow them to fulfill their lifespan. So the prevention of relief of animal suffering, the conservation of animal resources, the promotion of public health, and the advancement. So all the things that we will be sharing will be in consideration of the context that a veterinarian has. So this will be the main thing that is controlling me. And then we both, myself and my wife, we were veterinarians working as Vasrama Prabhu told, the dairy cooperative, it's called Milma, like we have Amul. Like we have Amul in Gujarat or Nandini in another place, then Avin in Tamil Nadu, like that. We have Milma in Kerala. So we were working as veterinarians in 1992 to 2009. And then one of our major findings was that, in Kerala, even though every year the cows were delivering and the milk yield we were getting milk from the farmers, what we were seeing that we didn't have sufficient cows. We had to import cows from neighboring states. How can that happen? Because once if all the cows deliver and if 50% of them are female calves, then naturally the cow population should be increasing. But that was not what was happening. So then we found out that of the 100 cows that are born in Kerala, this is not actually just confined to Kerala. Wherever it is, this is the same. It may be even less only. Only 14% of the calves that were born actually survived or became productive at their early stages. Only 14%. And that too, the 14% is when I took 500 grams of weight gain per day. Then also it is only 14%. Actually, it has to be more that we will come to know in the course, but only 14%. Where are the remaining going? So this was not in tune with the context of the profession, because we are supposed to be doing for the welfare of the animals, and the calves that are born are not completing their lifespan, not even completing maybe 3 months. So this disturbed us, and we wanted to really find a solution to it. So this prompted us to opt out of the dairy cooperative. So we had to resign from the job and then look for the options. Why is this happening? So then we thought, okay, we will leave the job and we will start a farm of our own, wherein we will procure some female calves and then we will grow them properly and then we will give to the farmer. So we thought that will be a good solution. And so then we purchased some land also. But one question was asked to me by a person that, what is the fate of the cows that you are giving to the farmers? Will they be also taken care of the way you want? So then actually we didn't have an answer to it, because naturally same thing will happen. The people are not taking care of the calves. So then even if we take care and give also, that is the same thing that is going to happen. So then we had to stall the project that we were planning to do. So this is not the way. So then we had to find out, why is it that these animals are getting labeled unproductive and culled? Why is it this happening? At that time, we got introduced to the holistic management principles coined by Ellen Savory. So that helped us to understand many of the things, why it is happening. And then we got associated with the Eco Village project of ISKCON, Belgaum. and then private farm, Agarwal farms in Jaipur. So when we got associated these two also, more and more things started to get revealed. And then one of the major things we understood was dairy and culling were complementary. That is, if you are having a dairy, naturally for the economic viability of a dairy, there should be culling. So that is the answer we got. So then we thought, okay, we should start, after understanding the cause of culling, we are now creating awareness among farmers about the real solution for their problems in this regard. Because we are seeing many organizations working against this culling. They want to protect the cows, but then actually that is not happening. We are again in the square one itself. So why is it happening? How can we proceed further? So those things started to come in our minds, and now we are actually our main prescribed duties to get this done, to pass on this message to all. And we are so thankful to the Varnashram Ministry who gave us this opportunity to speak to people and spread this message. And I am so thankful for all of you to be having registered and listening to us today. So for this full presentation or the full course, we have a context. And this context, I hope, is the context that everybody of us will have. Every one of us will be having or desiring to have. That we all want stable families, living peaceful, healthy lives in prosperity and physical security, while free to pursue our own spiritual or religious beliefs. We want adequate, nutritious food, clean water, and clean air from fertile landscapes. Not that we just want food, but we want it from fertile landscapes. Time to be with time for family, friends, community, and leisure for cultural and other pursuits. And we want real education in contextual decision making. That is, we have a context, and we want education that will help in achieving the context to live in harmony as a being in the ecosystem we live with. As a being, there are other beings also. We also want to live as a being in the ecosystem we live in. So for this, we need to achieve this much. What I've read so far, we need to be having a life-sustaining behavior. Then only we can get this. What is the life-sustaining behavior that we should have? We should be brought about by behaving with integrity as a being with all life forms, by ensuring them to live their lifespan performing their function. So each individual each species has a function, and we also will be behaving with integrity. That we don't interrupt or intercept their purpose, and so living in harmony, being open, tolerant, non-judgmental, honest, and respectful, ensuring mutual respect and support for team humanity as we live with each other and our environment in harmony. And then this behavior will ensure that we are taking care of our life-sustaining environment, because that is what actually sustains us. So all to be ensured for many generations to come on a foundation of regenerating soils and biologically diverse communities on Earth's land and in our rivers, lakes, and ocean. So this happens to be the context for this presentation. I hope everyone, all of us are having the similar holistic context. And in any case, you want to add anything more, you can definitely tell us. Or if you have any difficulty in any of these, also you can share your views. So this will be, the full course will be having this context. And this context is prepared considering the social, spiritual, environmental, and economic aspects simultaneously, not separately. They're all seen simultaneously. So then what is contextual management? It's a decision-making process that enables us to simultaneously consider that whenever you are taking a decision, that decision should simultaneously consider the social aspect, the environmental aspect, the economic aspect, and the spiritual aspect. Factors in order to reduce the unintended consequences while trying to achieve the quality of life you want to live in. So the context is to achieve a quality life. That is what we want. And for that, we need to be having a decision-making process. And that decision-making process considers these four things simultaneously. Then only it can be a contextual decision or a holistic decision. So now going to, what is a farmer doing? Farmer is also a decision maker only. A farmer is a decision maker. When if I ask what is, if someone tells you where can you find a farmer, immediately you may be thinking he's walking with an axe or he's having a shovel in a hand. No, that is what he does to fulfill his decision. But actually, he's a decision maker. He decides something. So his main job is decision making. So what is he deciding? Is he or she as a farmer is taking decisions to meet a need or desire or to solve a problem. That is what he's deciding. While managing this, when he is managing the resources to produce food and fiber from the landscapes, whatever landscape he is having, he is trying to produce the food, and in that process, he is taking decisions. And the interesting thing with regard to decision making is our decisions are always influenced by a paradigm or mindset or the way we see things. That always influences our decision making. Even see, like for example, if a farmer decides to spray a chemical on the land, then that decision is influenced by a paradigm that the pest will reduce my yield or the weed will reduce my yield. So anyway, there is a paradigm that's always influencing a decision. Unintended consequence shall arise if the decisions are not in line with our context. See, we have made a context that is for a quality life. And if our decisions are not in favor of the context that we have made, naturally, we will be experiencing unintended consequences. Now, we are experiencing rise in chronic diseases. Why? See, we have a quality life statement and we are working towards it. But how come we are getting this much of chronic diseases? How come that, the water is poison? So there is an unintended consequence that is happening. So what is the reason for the cause of the unintended consequence? It is the decision that we have taken that has led to the unintended consequence. This poisoning of the landscape is because of a decision taken by us. And what influenced us to take that decision is the mindset we have. Something influenced me to take that decision. That is how it comes. So always the cause of a problem is always the decision that we have taken. That is the cause of a problem, not any of the resources. We cannot blame the rain, we cannot blame the wind. No, they are always the resources. The decision we have taken is the cause of the problem. And what influenced our decision is the paradigm we have. To solve these unintended consequences, so knowing the cause of the problem, if we want to solve these unintended consequences, we need to shift from the paradigm that influenced our previous decision. Then only a new decision can come. See, understood that? We are thinking that the pest will destroy the crop, I will get less. So then now when we want to change that, the chemical is bad, then by spraying another form of chemical, you are not actually getting rid of the, we are doing the same thing, but in another form. But that will not remove the cause. The problem that we are facing is that the pest is coming. No. By changing from an inorganic pesticide to organic pesticide, still the pest is there. So we have not removed the cause. The cause is what? Pest will remove or reduce the yield. So that has to go. So we should be knowing what is the role of the pest. So that is the way we can solve a problem. So the unintended consequences, if you see in our drawing room, the front room, we have this elephant sitting before us. And that is all the unintended consequences. Disfigurement in a society as a result of wrong decisions taken by the farmers. Malnutrition, disease, pollution, extinction, pest, land degradation, floods, weeds, climate change, scarcity, conflicts, fire, everything is all unintended consequence of the wrong decisions that we have taken. So the quality of life, but the quality of life depends on the food we eat, the water we drink, and the air we breathe. But this is the problem that we are facing now. All of these depend on the quality of the soil. This no one is much thinking because, a big issue everyone is aware of, but which is being ignored because everybody finds discussion about it uncomfortable. Actually, it is a simple solution. The solution is so simple, we can actually solve it. We needn't be worried about it. But we should be knowing that it is the paradigm that has influenced our decision. It's our decision making that has gone wrong, not the resource. So how is it that we acquired these paradigms? We should be doing. A child that is born is free of these paradigms. He is the most intelligent at that time. And as time passes, a lot of paradigms are injected. Like we're just sharing an example, how paradigms. See, there in one room, the scientists did an experiment. They have kept a ladder, and top of the ladder, they have kept some bananas. And a group of scientists placed 5 monkeys in the cage. In the middle, a ladder with bananas on the top. So naturally, like a child that's born, naturally these monkeys will perform their function of trying to recycle that banana. They will naturally climb on the ladder to eat the banana. But what the scientists did was, if any one monkey tried to climb, they sprayed cold shower on the remaining 4 monkeys. So what is the monkey seeing? When someone tries to climb the ladder, we are sprayed with water. So every time a monkey went up the ladder, the scientists soaked the rest of the monkeys with cold water. After a while, every time a monkey went up the ladder, the others beat up the one of the. So now they were fed up with this water spray. So then they understood this is because that fellow is climbing. Actually, is climbing to perform its function. But when he is trying to do that, but we are suffering. So they started beating up every monkey who tries to climb the ladder to eat the banana. And after some time, no monkey dared to go up the ladder regardless of the temptation. That means totally these monkeys are not, even though they have that instinct to perform their function, finished. They are not climbing because of the paradigm that has been put on them. That if they try to climb, there will be water on your body. So then the scientists then decided to substitute one of the monkeys. The first thing this new monkey did was to go up the ladder. Naturally, this monkey that monkey doesn't have any paradigm. The only paradigm he has is my banana is for me to recycle. So he immediately tried to climb the ladder. Immediately, what will the other monkeys do? They will start to beat him up because they are afraid if he climbs, I'll get the water shot. After several beatings, the new member learned not to climb the ladder, even though never knew why. Why is it that they are beating me? They don't. The new monkey doesn't. But he also refused to climb the ladder. A second monkey was substituted and the same occurred. The first monkey participated on the beating for the second monkey. The third monkey was changed and the same was repeated. The fourth was substituted and the beating was repeated. And finally, the fifth monkey was replaced. No one is daring to climb. If they climb, they are beaten. So, but no one knew why the beating is done. What was left was a group of 5 monkeys that even though never received a cold shower, see that cold shower is not received in this case, continue to beat up any monkey who attempted to climb the ladder. These monkeys doesn't know why they have been. Previous monkeys at least knew that their water shower was the cause, but here they even do not know why they are being beaten. So this is what ended up. So if it was possible to ask the monkeys why they would beat up all those who attempted to go up the ladder, I bet you the answer would be, I don't know. That's how things are done around here. That is what we call paradigm, mindset. Does it sound familiar? In many cases with respect to farming or with that cow care also, these paradigms are what is influencing our decisions. Never let your education limit you from learning new things. Even though you may be hearing that it is a traditional thing, try to investigate. Why is it that this is being done? So that many things, according to your common sense, may not be looking right. So this is how a paradigm is being put into us. There are many paradigms. I'll give you some examples of some paradigms. Protein paradigm is a paradigm that has been put on us. Farmer paradigm. Oh, there is someone called farmer who is supposed to grow something for me. Germ theory. All the problems are created by germs. Fertilizer paradigm. You have to add fertilizer on the land, be it organic or inorganic. That is the belief that has been given to us. Pest, that means insects are pests. They have come to destroy our food. Weeds have come to destroy our situation, our growing crops. Value-added product. Value-added products are superior than the nature's produce. That is the paradigm given to us. stinging stool. Stool will always sting. How can that happen? We are eating food that is so tasty and smelling good. How is it that then the stool has to sting? So these are all the parallels. Stool has to sting. Well, that is like, these are some of the few paradigms that has been injected to us. And we are sincerely, I'm telling you, we are sincerely following these paradigms without knowing why this has been put on us. But the actual paradigm is the Vedic paradigm that the creator has given us. That he has given a super paradigm. What is that paradigm? That paradigm is given in the Ishopanishad. The Vedic paradigm is Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnam Eva Ashishyate. That is the personality of God, whoever is the creator, is perfect and complete. And because he is completely perfect, all emanations from him, such as this phenomenal world, are perfectly equipped as complete wholes. That means Purnam Adam Purnamidam. What he is perfect, and whatever he has created is perfect. Whatever is produced of the complete whole is also complete in himself. Whatever is coming out of that whole is also complete. Then why are you thinking of a protein separately? It is complete. No. I'm just giving an example. Because he is complete whole, even though so many complete units emanate from him, he remains the complete balance. So it is a Purna who has made this system, and what he has created is Purna. So what is the highlight of this? The highlight is, it is entropy. The system is entropy. The ecosystem is entropy. That means the more you grow, the more resources of fertility generates. Now what is our paradigm? You see, this is a Purna system. If you are adding fertilizer, it simply means that system is not Purna. You have to get from somewhere. No, it's an industry that is giving you the fertilizer. Then it is not a Purna system. But the Purna system is such that the more you grow, the more fertile it becomes. That is the Purna system that has been given to us. Increasing, what is our belief? Increasing population will deplete the resource. No, the system then cannot be Purna. The Purna system says increasing population doesn't deplete the resources in the ecosystem. More population, why do you worry? If there is a birth that's taken place, the system is Purna that it will take care of. The resources are available at the site. No need for any inventions. Whatever you need is there at the site. Locally, it is there. We needn't go in with any invention. That is the Purna. See, if you have to invent something, that means the system is not Purna. No. Why do the paradigm, the Vedic paradigm says it is Purna, no room for inventions. The number of population is not going to affect. The more you grow, the more fertile the land should become. And in this system, there is no difference between farm and a farmer, as we are a being in the farm. Everyone is a being in the farm. All the living entities in a farm is a being. So then what's the difference between a farm and a farmer? It is all the same only. Any entity that feeds on nature's produce is a farmer. We as a human being is also a farmer. An earthworm is also eating the produce that is there from the nature. All the beings in the ecosystem are farmers. There is nothing called a separate person doing something, because the system is Purna. We cannot separate anything. It works as a whole. While technology is sometimes important, biodiversity is much more powerful than creating a future we want. Technology is actually replacing a function. When a particular species gets extinct, then that function or the species is not there in your system. Naturally, the technology has come to replace that function. Technology is good. As long as that technology is replacing the function, in that way it is good. But otherwise, biodiversity, the loss of biodiversity is what has made more technology to come into the system in farming. Nature is self-organizing and relentless. It keeps going on in change form. It's not that it will not stop like an equipment. It is keeping on going. It is relentless. There are no parts in nature. Thinking in wholes is critical to making better decisions. So there are no parts. There is none human being as a separate. No, we are all beings in the whole system. That is what this whole the Vedic paradigm teaches us. So managing complicated versus complex system. This nature is a complex system. All technological inventions are man-made. Whatever invention we have made, they are all man-made. It's a connection of parts, and hence damage of one part leads to the stoppage of the equipment. So it is a complicated thing. You need a trained person or a professional to manage it, because it is a connection of parts. Only those who have learned it can do it. But nature is not man-made. We are just managing or orchestrating it. We are only managing nature. We are not at all making any new inventions. It is there. We are just managing it. Even by wrong management, it doesn't stop functioning. Instead, it self-organizes and keeps functioning. Maybe with an unintended consequence, there may be some problems that the inmates will face, but the system will keep going on, because it is a complex system, not a complicated system as we have made. It's a complex system, yet to understand by human beings. We don't have the brain to really expect to understand it. It's so complex. Nature is self-organizing and relentless, which means nature is not to be managed in parts, but as a whole. Hence, there is no room for competition in nature. That is what the nature has been. It's a Purna system. What is the room for competition? It functions only as a whole, not as a separate thing. So only a conscious human being shall have the skill to manage complexity in our ecosystem. Otherwise, it's not possible, because our decisions as a human doing, I am the only person in this system. Everything is for me. That is how it is known. See, why are we farming? It is to feed us only. That is, actually, we are farming human beings. And whatever we are doing, it is to farm human beings. That is where the anthropocentric decision making comes. We are a human doing, but in nature, we are a human being. So all decisions made should simultaneously, if you are making a decision, it should simultaneously consider the well-being of all the other species. Otherwise, you will end up with an unintended consequence. That is why we are facing. If the decision that we have taken is not considering simultaneously the well-being of all the other species, whichever thing you are trying to do will never give you profit. That is the mantra that you have to listen. If your system is not profitable, just understand you have not considered the whole in your decision making. That is why farmers are failing, or the suicide or not, because they are not seeing the whole. Social, environmental, economic, as well as spiritual. All these things should come together. But in the human doing, all decisions are made. Do not consider the well-being of others. Only me. The whole thing is for me. The other one, it is for us. It's a totally different way of taking decisions. So that is why, see, that it's it needs a different mindset. No, the paradigm has to be different. That we are a being, and the other paradigm is we are a doing. So need for paradigm shift from human doing to human being, because we cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used to create them. That is, if you have applied a pesticide and it has created a problem, we cannot solve that problem until and unless we change the reason why we sprayed the pesticide. That is, then only the real change will happen. That is where the change is. The system is Purna. The system is, there is no competition. How come the pest became, or that insect, it's a species in this. How come that insect became a problem maker? So there is that paradigm shift has to happen in us. That will come when we have the faith in the Purna. For that, we should be understanding the difference between function and utility. What is the function of all the species? Each species has a function, and each species is a whole, and the whole is a collection of all these small wholes. We have different organs in our body, and that is what the whole we are. And there are other species also like that. And then all together form the Purna. So function is a purpose of a person or a thing or an activity that is natural to it. It is natural. That particular thing, what we can call it prescribed duties. It's a prescribed duty of a particular being, of a particular species in the system. What is the utility? The state of being useful, profitable, or being. That only a human being, human doing things. How can I get benefit from this particular species? Right? Is he useful to me? And when it is not useful to you, you decide to cull it. So culling happens only when we are seeing a thing for its utility. Because once it is not useful for you, cull it. But for the function, it's not like that. When a thing is used for its function, it has been designed to perform that function. So till end, as long as the function takes place, it will be useful for us. See, for example, everything that has been created in nature as a function. See, just think of a coconut husk. I've asked the question to many, what is the function of the husk? They told to making ropes and all. No. Or to protect it from falling. No. Why protect it? We are thinking that the coconut, see, in the city, the coconut may be falling on the road or on the concrete floor. So then you may be thinking it needs protection. No. In nature, there is no concrete floors. It is supposed to be falling. If we had known that the function of the husk is to make it, facilitate it to float and then reach the next shore and grow there. That is the function of this particular. The other thing we are making ropes or mat, it is the utility of that thing. When another product comes which is more viable, we will shift to that product. But that is the utility one. But here the function is to facilitate its floating. So a person who knows the function of this particular thing will understand that this particular tree is supposed to grow near a water body. And then he will never try to grow this in a desert by pouring water to it. And then he says it is not profitable to, coconut farming is not profitable. Why? Because he has not understood the function of that particular plant, where it is supposed to grow. That is not the problem of the coconut. It is our problem. We went wrong in our decision. Like this, every species, every organ, or anything that is there as a function, it is needed for this particular thing is for the propagation of this particular nut that this husk has been given. All the other things are its utility. See the function for the bird. What is it doing? Its normal function. Yet has a beak. It does not have a mouth like others. It's a beak. And then what is it doing now? It is scratching the ground, creating aeration of the soil. It is eating many of the seeds. And then it is doing a lot of the pest or the insect control. So it is they promote aeration, predate insects, they control insects in the landscape, do seeding of plants. That is through their stool, many seeds start to sprout. So that is they are doing the seeding. And great source of organic nitrogen to the soil left, because there the waste from the birds, that where the broiler and all, it is used as a manure. So this is the function of this bird. We are seeing only the utility. Maybe it is giving an egg or the flesh of it. That is the utility. The function is what they are prescribed duty, what they are designed to do. This bird will do till its death. So when is that you are getting a chance to cull it? You won't get a chance to cull it because it is performing. No, maybe it becomes handicapped. Okay, we agree. But otherwise, it is able to function as long as there is a place for it to scratch and the legs are okay. See, now we look into the cows. We have classified the utility of cows. What are we speaking about cows? The bulls are to bull the cart. They have been designed. The hump, on the car is to restrain or to hold the bullock carts thing. No, it is not the function of that particular hump. Then what about our horses? They don't have it. So that is not the reason for it. We say that the drought, bulls are for this. The cows are to give milk. So this is how we have seen. But if that was right, if that was their function, then they wouldn't reach the garbage. Then why are they in the garbage, eating the garbage? We told them the deshi cow. We need deshi cows. All the foreign cows should go. What has happened? See the left one. You are seeing a Videshi cow and a Deshi cow eating from the same garbage. So that didn't solve. It was not because it was not Deshi, because we saw them for milk or for drought purpose. See where the cow is. It's being culled. These are all culled elements. We don't know because we are seeing them for their utility. Since the utility fixed is not their function, they end up in the garbage. And then from all the Goshalas, it is being culled. In Vishnu Purana, it is told, Kali Yuga, cows should be honored as long as she delivers milk. No milk. That means we saw them for milk. No, that is the utility, not the function of it. So what will happen? After no milk, then they are starved, non-milking cows. They are thrown out. Some will take them in the vehicle, takes it maybe for making it to meat. Then some will stop it. They will take it to some go shauchalaya, keep them there. This is the what are they doing there also? Again, they are doing the same thing there because we are not thinking about their function. Many goshalas, shauchalayas are all a burden. These animals, what to do? Because they are not giving milk. They are not doing any work. And they are not pulling the cart. So they are useless. Why? Because we saw their utility, not their function. What is their function? See, all our cow shelters, what are we trying to prevent? We are trying, maybe these bodies, when I ask them, they're saying we cannot permit slaughter. We are against culling. That is why. So these are only some shelters where you want to prevent another thing. And so you have kept them there. But these animals are wasting their time. They are not able to do their functions. So will that serve the purpose? No, we should know their function. What is it that the prescribed duty, what they will do naturally without need for any money? What is that they can do? The function of a cow, the primary function of a cow is its inborn quality of grazing. She is a grazer, like many herbivores. That is her function. This statement doesn't mean you cannot milk a cow or you cannot use a bull for work. Good, you use them. But have they grazed? Did they graze? Then only they have done their function. If they are not grazing and you are keeping them in the go shauchalaya and trying to make them work, the day he or she stops working, it is useless for you. But if she is grazing, recycling the resources, then naturally it's a function. So the utility, primary utility fixed is that for milk or cow for traction, bull for traction. The primary function of the udder is to feed the calf. So there's a function, like we have the husk. If for floating, the breast is to feed the calf, feed the child. For in all mammals. So this distinction you should be knowing. This has to be there in anything you manage. A pen, what is the function of a pen? To write. You can scratch your head with a pen, but is that the function of a pen? Will you buy a pen to scratch your head? You won't. So that understanding is clear distinction between the understanding of function and utility. So the function of a cow is to graze, whether cow or bull. When I say cow, it means both together. It is to graze like any other herbivores. And the other thing that you speak about is the milk. You can take milk, but it should have grazed. Otherwise, it will be, you will one day name it useless. Utility should come only after the function. Land and cow care or both should be the same. When a natural resource is not used for its functions, it leads to the diminishing of the said resource and hence unsustainable. Because you will have to cull the cow. The cow you cannot keep them in your go shauchalaya. So that is how it happens. So now, what is the Vedic indicator of the quality of life? You see, just I'm relating to how in the previous years, long Vedic system, it says the more the cow you have is supposed to be rich. That is how it was seen. So what was the indicator? It is Swasti Mandara, Swasti Prajapya, Paripalayandam, Nyayena Margena, Mahi Mahisha, Go Brahmanya, Subhamstu Nityam, Loka Samasta Sukhino. What is it? May there be well-being to all the beings. All the beings, the Praja, all are the king's Prajas. Even and to a human being, all are his Prajas. So the king sees everyone as his Prajas. May the kings rule the earth along the right path, that is seeing all the beings as Prajas. May the cows and Brahmanas have well-being forever. That means there was priority to the well-being. So we should know what is the well-being of it. And how is it that we know the cows are in their well-being or they are happy or the Brahmanas are happy? May all beings in the world become happy. Peace, peace, peace everywhere. So now let us dive into understanding. How is it that you understand a cow is happy? So some clue has been given. Even they are performing their functions. Okay, when they are performing their functions, how is it that we can understand that it is happy. That is also given. Yesterday, Madhaprabhu had talked about this particular sloga in Srimad Bhagavatam. During the reign of Maharaja Yudhishthira, the clouds showered all the water that people needed, that is sufficient rain, and the earth produced all the necessities of man in profusion. Due to its fatty milk bag, that means fatty milk bag and cheerful attitude. So there's milk in the udder. Even after the calf is living with, even though the calf is living with the mother, there is excess milk. So there will be excess milk when the cow is happy. That means it's living in the right situation. The cow used to moisten the grazing ground with, that is excess milk. Even over and above the requirement of the calf, that is the sign of happiness of a cow. Or it is a sign of Sugino Bhavantu. All will be happy when, underline it, when you have a cow in your farm. If it is giving you milk over and above the requirement of the calf, you can understand it's an indicator of your proper functioning of your system. That is how it was seen. That is why Vedic Swastik Mantra, that is, if the kings are ruling the right way, naturally the cows will be happy. What is the sign of their happiness? There will be excess milk. So the availability of excess milk was seen as an indicator of happiness of the cows, and in turn indicated a thriving ecosystem. So it is linked to an ecosystem which is thriving. How do you understand it? See, cows separated from their calves and fed with insufficient and poor quality fodder, they are unhappy cows. See, the calves are separated. See, they are all starving. Central picture, the fodder has to come from somewhere. The land which they are grazing, there is no grass. How can this be called happy cows? No. The cows, see the bottom, cows are grazing with their calves and on high quality grazing land. Then only there can be excess. So what is there is a term used as bricks. Bricks is an indicator of the nutrient density in any food. Anything, if you measure the nutrient density, this is thing called the refractometer, and using that refractometer, you can measure the bricks value of every food, and higher the bricks, more nutritious. So the higher the bricks value in your grass, the more nutritious food the cow is getting, excess milk will be there. So that is how the indicator, that is how it is indicated. See, you have a soil on top, which is richer, darker and brown in color, earthy smell, holds water. When it rains, it is holding the water, creates a habitat for living organisms. In such a soil, if a grass is growing, and if the cow is grazing that, excess milk can be expected when cows graze on grass from such a soil. And if you have a soil which is lighter in color, nothing is living on it, doesn't percolate and filter water. See, everywhere when it rains, it is flood. That means it is a compacted soil and doesn't have any earthy smell. So if a grass is growing in from such a soil, even excess milk can never come from cows feeding on such grass from such a soil. How can it happen? So then the excess never comes. Excess means over and above the requirement of the calf. That is our share. No, I didn't tell anyone that our share is naturally the remaining from what the calf has taken. That I don't think anyone has got difference of opinion. But that excess has to be there. No, that excess can come only if the cow is happy. And when is the cow happy? Also you understood. And what should be the quality of grass also? It's clear now. So now you should understand when is it that you have excess milk in this cow from a cow? Why am I speaking about the excess milk? Because that is an indicator of proper governance, proper thinking, proper decision making. Nyayena margena means proper decision making. So that is how it is indicated. That is why previously those who had cows were seen as rich persons. So when is it that you see excess milk from cows? Those cows which are consuming fodder with a higher bricks means higher nutritive value, bricks levels, the fodder with higher bricks levels, as a result of which, since they are consuming the fodder with higher bricks, the milk production is more than the requirement of the cow, because superfood, no. So it will be more than the requirement of the cow. Or those cows which are consuming fodder with high bricks levels, As a result of which the milk quality, previously it was quantity, now the quality is also high. That little quantity for the calf she is satisfied. It is high quality food. So there will be excess milk in the udder. Or these calves, whose calves by consuming fodder, that they are also eating the fodder. So they are getting high quality fodder. So naturally their hunger is under control. So they may not be going for more milk. So then also there will be excess milk. So these are the three conditions wherein you get, then there are two more conditions where you can have excess milk. One is the calf is sick. It is not able to drink the milk. So there will be excess milk. And another important thing is when the calf is separated also, you will have excess milk in the udder. These are the 5 situations wherein you have excess milk. You know the quality of fodder that you have now. You know it. Every year, see, this year you have purchased some fodder. Do you have any guarantee that the next year or the grass that you have purchased is much more in quality than the grass you purchased last year? No guarantee. It is going diminishing every year. So how can there be excess milk today? The excess milk today is because we have separated the calves, not because of the quality or they are happy. So the milk available for purchase today, if you are purchasing or if you are drawing from the cow, is the milk obtained by separating the calf. So now it is your decision. I'm not saying you shouldn't drink. It's your decision. If you are purchasing, you should know from where it came. It came only because the calf was separated. That is how it came. So now you see this slogan. Now we can very well better understand this slogan. The bitter expression of Kali on the cows as are cited in Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 1, 17, Canto 1, 17th chapter, 3rd slogan. Although the cow is beneficial because one can draw religious principles from her. See, what is it that the cow is giving us? The religious principles. Nyayena margena, how you should live. That is what she teaches us. But she is rendered poor and calfless. That means her calf is separated from her. She is not living with her calf. This is a sign that is you see today. Her legs were beaten by an uncivilized. That means the caretaker is an uncivilized person. There were tears in her eyes and she was distressed and weak. She is weak. Why? Why? Because she was hungering after some grass in the field. She is looking for some grass. She wants to graze. She is not looking at the owner. What is? Believe me, I want to do my function, my prescribed duty. So these 3 things. She doesn't have a good owner who has the consciousness to understand that I shouldn't separate the calf and I shouldn't separate her from the land. These are the 3 things that are happening to them. The expression, bitter expression of Kali. Right that moment we are speaking today, now here, this is happening. Calves are separated from their mothers. Cows are separated from the land and stalled in shauchalayas, go shauchalayas. Cows are not taken care of by the civilized. Only when these 3 abuses are addressed can we expect the cows to be happy and any project with the cows to be sustainable. We say no, Goshala is not sustainable. Why? Because these 2 abuses are there. Because we don't have a good owner. These 2 abuses are there. The calf is separated and the cow is separated from the land. Only when these 2 abuses are gone, this is going to be profitable. Because that is the Purna. In Purna, it functions like that. So, these things that which I'm going to say now may not be seen in the textbooks that I learned, but is seen in the Purna. There is a description about the Purna we have through Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam or the Vedas. So I'm sharing with you what is written about if you do these things. Like consequence of separating a calf, what will happen? It is given in the Vedas. It says milk derived forcibly from cows is poisonous and leads to innumerable, incurable diseases. That means the milk that you get now by separating the calf is poison. It is described as poison, Visha. So what can a poison do to you? Leads to, and that is also given, innumerable, incurable. Aren't we facing it today? So this is what will happen when a person or a society tries to separate the cow and the calf. And if he drinks, then you get an additional unintended consequence. Then If you are separating the cow from the grasslands, there also it is given. Barriers in pastures, trying to prevent them from pastures, moving, angers the cows. Here also in Vedas, the milk from such cows is likened to poison. So when you separate the cow from the calf, or the cow from her, and if you separate the cow from her grazing system, in both the cases, the milk is described in the Purna as poison. Consequence of keeping cows in confinement, that is, you are trying to keep them in the Go Shauchalaya, what will happen? Such a person and society that keeps its cows in confinement in their homes suffer fall from grace of learned people and gods. That means your Guru and the Lord will not give you any grace. That is what, if you are keeping them in the Go Shauchalaya as a confinement. So there also it is given. This you will not find in our package of practice from the universe. This is only in the Purna, description of Purna in various books we have. And then consequence of farming without cows. Here we have to understand, there are people are keeping cows now for farming, but they are not using the cows for farming. Instead, they are using the cow dung, or it may mix both. So it is a dung-based farm. So what is the consequence of dung-based farming is given here? Or wherein you are not using the cow, wherein the cow is not an integral part in farming. That is, those ill-advised who do not devote their time and labor for utilizing the family cows and cultivate organic crops, they suffer through pest, insects, and diseases thrown by Rudra, because he is in charge of these pests and all those things, or insects and all. So when you are not using ill-advised, this one, you are not using the cow, instead you are using only the dung or the dung and urine. What is it that we are doing? We are spraying many non-chemical things. It is also made from urine only, no? But we are seeing the insect as a problem. So, but when you use the cows for farming, you will never have this pest attack, or that consciousness naturally will change. That is also given. So, mistake that we are doing is trying to manage cows from their natural habitat. We have kept them in the Go Shauchalaya for what? Because we are seeing them their utility. What is the utility? Either milk or dung or urine, but not seeing the cow, which is the whole. That is not, we are seeing only the parts. But the left, they have to graze. That is their function. The other one is utility. See, you cannot, like a fish is removed from its habitat. You are removing a fish from water. What will happen to the fish? The same thing will happen to the cow if you remove them from the grasslands. What will happen? The grassland will become deserts. Fruits and vegetables that grow from such a soil will also be low in nutrients, because you have removed an integral thing from the system. You are trying to manage in parts. The cows, as a result of which, will get culled. That is how culling happens, because we are not using them for their function. Human activity of putting such strain on the natural functions of any species in our ecosystem should no longer be taken for granted. We cannot do that. We shouldn't do that. That we can do that. Any species, not only cows. I'm just giving an example for any species you remove from its habitat, there will be an unintended consequence for it. That is why wrong decisions and their unintended consequences are still going on. That is insanity. No, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different results. How can it happen? Unless and until the paradigm changes from the utility to function and better decisions come, the problem is not going to change. The system will go on. We are trying to do the same thing. We tried to change the, initially they were the local cows. We brought the Deshi cows, still the same. They brought back the Deshi cows, still the situation of the cow is the same, because we have not changed the paradigm. So paradigm shift from utility to function, the need of the hour, that human doing to human being, then only this can be solved. So I will just compare some of the human doings and human beings. The mindset of a human doing is a reductionist. Decisions are taken to satisfy the need, desires, and to solve the problem of just one species, human beings. But in a human being, Holistic decisions are taken to simultaneously satisfy the need, desires, and to solve the problems of all the species. That is the difference between both. And fertilizer, that input. Plants, so what is the paradigm that is making us to put the fertilizer is plants deplete the soil, and hence the soil has to be fertilized after every cropping. That is the paradigm. So I have grown something, so many of whatever is there has been depleted, so I have to put. But for a human being, he thinks plants cannot deplete. That is the main thing. Because the Purna, no, the system is Purna. How can that happen? Plants add fertility to the soil by the photosynthesis during the growing phase. The return of biomass residue after harvest completes the mineral cycle. That means there is a way in the Purna. So you don't need to put fertilizers there, organic or inorganic, not needed, because he has faith in the Purna. It is not something that should come from an industry. It is there. The resources are available at site. Regarding insects, why is it that the human doing is trying to kill? Because he thinks that it will reduce the yield by damaging the crop. But as far as the human being is, he knows the function as insects to clear the garbage. They will only eat the garbage. They will not eat a healthy plant. They will only eat the sick plant. That is what the Purna is. That is how the Purna has been created. A sick plant should be eaten. Otherwise, that will be eaten by higher beings like human beings, and that will cause more problems in the system. Then weeds. The human doing is it will reduce the yield by competing with the desired crop. Deplete soil fertility. No, we have to remove it. But for the person who has understood the Purna, he will say it functions as a plant to photosynthesize and pump fertility to the soil. It sees it as a plant, like any other plant. Adds organic material on top after growth is over. So it is only giving you fertility. It is not taking anything from your system, because that is in the Purna. And cows, reared for milk, utility of milk and traction. That is what the human doing will do. But the human being managed for their function of grazing. Milk is a gift of proper grazing. Nyayena margena. That is when the milk will come in. When the cow is with the calf and grazing, if there is excess milk, then that is an indicator that your system is perfect. That is the only profitable system in this Purna. Because we are incapacitated to manage the complex systems, we started throwing fertilizer. And then we started spraying pesticides, weedicide, removing weeds. And then, since we do not know to manage the complexity, we ultimately got up with some chronic diseases. And still, without understanding the cause, we are trying to prevent the disease without knowing the cause of the problem with a mask. We do not know to manage complexity. How is it that after spraying some chemical on our water, that you will be living a happy life or you will reach your context? How can that happen? Will be putting this mask clear that water problem? We do not know. That is why is the rulers or whoever it is, decision makers, taking a right decision. That is what a farmer should be doing. Human beings are the only species we don't have predators. We don't need a mask. There are no predators for us. All other species are our resource. Even the virus is a resource for us. How come we see it as a predator? Because we don't have faith in the Purna. So nature functions in wholes. Complexity of nature, the basic principle is that we cannot manage nature by its parts. We are all beings in the ecosystem. We should not manage plants in isolation from the soil they grow in, or the isolations from the animals that graze them. The animals should graze. The plant needs that impact, not the impact of our sickles. It needs the impact of the bite of the animals. All species, beings in nature are designed to function with the whole in center. Decision taken without considering the context and the complexity of nature leads to unintended consequences. We cannot learn complexity in our schools. It can be learned only from our sacred text. That's the only place where you can learn about the complexity. So are the decisions we make today are the farmers make. We are all farmers. To meet our needs, desires, or to solve our problems, leading to more bare soil. Let us listen to this video.
Desertification of our soils is a pressing threat to our climate and our species.
But I have for you a very simple message. About 2/3 of the world is desertifying.
As soils turn to dust around the world, every year 40 million people are pushed off their land. By 2050, it's estimated that 1 billion people will be refugees of soil desertification.
More than 20 civilizations in all regions of the world have failed because of agriculture damaging the environment. Their communities could not handle the deteriorating environment and the rising population. Globally, that's what we're doing today. Poor land leads to poor people. Poor people leads to social breakdown. Poor land leads to increasing frequency of floods and droughts, mass emigration across borders and into cities, and it's leading to ideal recruitment conditions.
What we know right now is the way we're feeding ourselves is undermining the very ecology that we're dependent upon. So the long-term prognosis for our survival on this planet, given business as usual, is very, very poor.
According to the United Nations, the world's remaining topsoil will be gone within 60 years. In other words, unless we find a way to save our soils, we have 60 harvests left.
Then without doubt, this elephant is in our living room. All these things that the elephant is coming as brought, it is there. If this we are going to supposed to live with such a. So we need to understand that the decision so far taken, if it has led to an unintended consequence, okay, we need to change our decisions. To change a decision, we have to change our paradigm from the whatever, like human doing to human being. So the real function of a farmer is like a person driving the car. He knows what where the switch is, what is the work of the battery, what is the work of the fuel, the tires, and he drives the car. The same way the farmer is making decisions and to manage this ecosystem. He is just orchestrating the functions of the living beings and other natural resources to achieve abundance without depleting the resources. That is the function of a farmer, just orchestration, because he's a being. And he has to, we are the keystone species. Our decision affects the whole system. It will affect the whole. So understand the roles of keystone species and work hard to act as one. We should be the keystone species because that will create the abundance and not deplete the resources. That is the function of a farmer. Just orchestration. All the systems that are there, it's Purna, and we should learn to orchestrate it. For that, we should have faith in the Purna. What is the benefit, outcome of it? The biodiversity will be there, water quality will be good, food quality will be good, soil health measures will be there, and profit and wellness. I told initially, profit can be there in any system only if it is in tune with the Purna. Otherwise, you will face. Because why? Because just read that center statement. Real agriculture improves the resource it uses, not deplete, rather than destroying or depleting it. If by farming you have improved the resource, then only it is agriculture. And then only it is actually profitable. See, if you have made some big harvest of sugarcane using the borewell water, in which way it is profitable, even though you may get lakhs? The water depleted, you cannot value that. So that is how it should be. The resource should keep building, even though you are growing. And even though we are recycling, still the resource should increase. That is what agriculture in the Purna system is. So the characteristics of this nature's farming, that is a Purna's farming system, is there are mixed crops in the Purna, biodiversity. No soil erosion in the Purna. It preserves the soil erosion. Mother Earth never attempts to farm without livestock. There is no farming without livestock. That forests are full of animals. And we should understand the real meaning of livestock. That will come next. Greatest care is taken to store the rainfall. That means in the nature's farming, the rainfall is effective. That means it is stored. It has gone to the place where it belongs, not flown over the place where it belongs. Process of growth and decay balance one another. Mixed animal and vegetable convert into humus. There is no waste in nature's farming. This is the characteristic of nature's farming. So some words, the remaining in this course will be biodiversity means all the life forms moving and not moving in our landscape. All the life forms that is moving, bacteria, everything, they are all formed in the biodiversity. Then what is the livestock? Livestock is one, all the moving in the biodiversity, whichever is moving, they come under the livestock, not just cows, sheep, and goat. All life forms, even a bacteria is a livestock. What is wealth in holistic management? It is the natural resources available to us. It is the resources available to us. That's what wealth is. The more the resource is rich. Not money, resources. The homes that shelter us and the closeness of our ties with one another. That is that relationship. That is what wealth means in holistic management. Then what is agriculture? Farming, fertility, that's more and more resources while trying to grow food. Even though we are growing something from it, is becoming more and more fertile for all beings in our landscape. That is what the glossary is. Allow other cohabitants to the space and peace they require. Remember, their needs to life are as pressing as ours. That is when you become a human being. So what is it that we need? We are all beings that constitute the biodiversity in the environment that sustain it. We are only 10% human cells. Rest 90% are microbial cells. We are not just full of human cells. That is how we are. See, that it is a collection of life. That is what we are. So this is how we have to see the nature. When you own a property, how many of you are staying there? We'll say, I myself, my wife, my children. How many? 4. Then how many workers? 4. So 8 people. No. You have animals that you have there. And each bacteria, that is, 1 gram of soil has more life than, 1 teaspoon of soil has more life forms than you have in this old world. Human beings, more than the human population is there in 1 teaspoon. Likewise, you just see how many beings are there in your farm. And so see it as a whole. That is where your decision making should come. Whether it is below the soil, see the life forms, above the soil. And we are all the livestock on the top, all the living beings. That is how we need to see. Regard and address all species as equal cohabitants. They all have value because they are all performing their prescribed duties or dharma. That is how we need to see. Then only profitability is going to come. Otherwise, it's all false statements that it is profitable. No, it cannot be. So, from human being to human utility, that is the need. Without agriculture, it's not possible to have a city, stock market, bank, university, church, or army. It's not possible. Agriculture is the important thing. It is a foundation of civilization and any stable economy. It's a statement given by Alan Sal. So when you change the way you look at things, what is needed today is a change in mindset. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look also will change. The way we farm, the way we see the animals. And this change will reduce the culling, or it will increase the profit in the system, and there will be abundance. Thank you for cooperating. I'm passing it back to Vasudha Madas for further questions. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you very much, Prabhu, for this session. And yeah, because now the present consequences what we are facing, just because of the wrong decisions which we have taken, and actually we are misled, or actually we are forgetting our own functions to perform, and we are not treating ourselves as a part of the ecosystem. Actually, that is the main thing, actually. So thank you very much once again. And yeah, if anyone would like to ask questions, they can raise their hand. One by one, they can ask the questions. Any questions, please? Geeta Mataji, yes, you can go ahead with the question.
Namaste.
Namaste, Madam.
It was a very nice session. Thank you so much for this session. I want to know how to manage bulls on the farm. If I have 4 or 5 cows and they give birth to bull, usually the bulls are sold outside, which I don't want to do. Then how to manage calves basically?
See, why are you keeping? See, you have a problem of bulls. Then what about the cows? What are you using them for? You are saying the bulls is a problem.
Cows can be cows can give cow dung and urine.
Why the bull doesn't give dung?
With which you can make Jivamrit. And
so what is wrong with the bull? So
but in
wherever the bull passes through, there is some.
Jivamrit, bull's dung is not used.
See, when that is so, then still it is utility for you. You want to make Jivamrita. That is why you are keeping the cow. No, but that is not the function of the cow. See, you have made Jivamrita from bull, from the dung. That means the dung is the source of your microbes. No.
Yes.
So does it mean that if
even bull's dung is as good?
Prabhuji, where's Mataji? See, every stool. See, you are walking on the soil. What is it you see on the top of the soil? It is the stool of all the life forms only. The black thing you see on top is the stool of the life forms. Maybe earthworm, maybe an insect. That is how it is.
So you mean to say we can manage all the bulls born of the cows without selling them?
Why should we sell? See, that's why I asked you, then what are you going to do with the cows? See, the function of the cow and the bull is the same, no?
Yeah, even cows, if you don't sell, and
if they are grazing,
and
see, if they are grazing, why is it that you have to do apply Jivamrita? Because the animals are not on the land. If you are able to use them on the land, if they are moving on the land, then naturally the bull and the cow are the same, no?
So we don't need Jivamrut then.
See, Jivamrita is a situation where, see, when you're transitioning from an inorganic system to the organic system, these are all needed. See, what is it that the Jivamrita has taught us? It's a good system. That bacteria is not the cause of the problem. We need life. That is the message in Jivamrita. That's the main message in Jivamrita, that it is full of life. We need life. That was what was missing.
Right.
That is what you have to understand.
So if you have cows grazing.
See, the most thriving ecosystem in the world is the forest. Do you agree to that?
Of course.
Who is praying Jivamrita? So I am not against Jivamrita. Jivamrita is, see, Who is praying Jivamrita in the forest?
Yeah, no one.
No one. So then how is it happening? Because naturally the animals are passing stool.
Right.
The bull, the buffalo bull.
So we can have more bulls and cows roaming around in the farm, right?
But there is a way to move them. That is why we are calling herders.
Okay.
There is a way to move them. Those things will come in the remaining
Okay.
part. But one thing that I could share with you is the cow and the bull both are the same species only. Only thing is one is a male and one is female. Don't see their dung in the difference in their dung in case of farming. That is, you are trying to manage again in parts.
That's good. Yeah, true.
So there is a message in Jivamrita. The message in Jivamrita is when a person, like it's an IC unit, there is no life. So then you are giving her a drip. The same way, soil without life, to start, you are using Jivamrita. That is the role of Jivamrita, but not to keep continuing.
Right.
When you move to a new house, you may not be having curd. So you may ask for a culture from your neighbor, but you won't ask the next day, no?
Right.
So that is how it is. Once you use, but that is not something to be continued.
Okay.
Okay, that will be good in fact.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. Srikala Mataji, you would like to say something?
Hare Krishna. Hare
Krishna Mataji. Yes. Hare Krishna.
It was not a doubt or anything. I just wanted to interfere because Mataji was asking a question regarding the topics which are coming up in the next sessions now. So it will be better if questions are confined to today's topic and
yes.
Module courses. Our course is complete one. So most of the questions will be automatically answered in the coming sessions.
Future sessions, yes. Future topics.
It's okay, Prabhuji. Even then, Prabhuji explained some doubts will be remaining because not heard the full topic. No, that is why. That is what I just wanted to mention. Even then, since there are less questions, it's okay. But you will have to, Mataji will have to wait and listen the topic regarding bulls, their functions, cows, their functions, everything will be very clear once the topic is set. That is what I just wanted to share.
Yes.
Thank you.
Sure. Thank you, Mataji.
Next Sunday, it is the function of cows and bulls.
Yeah. So the next question is from Ravi Teja. Yes.
Yes, Prabhu.
Your voice is low, Prabhu. Can you speak a little loud?
Yeah, hello. You are able to hear me now?
Yes, better.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So basically, my question is related to confinement of cows to certain area. In one of the presentation, it was mentioned that cows should not be confined to certain area and should be let go out for the grazing. Basically, I'm not a farmer, but I have seen some farmers who are financially not so stable. If they leave the cows loose for grazing, they will go into other field and damage the crop. So in such cases, how can we cannot let loose the cows without confining with them to the area. How can we address this question?
Yeah, it's a very good question because the question is how come if you just leave them? They shouldn't be left like that. See, they are domesticated animals. No, they are not wild animals. So domesticated means there should be a herder with them. If there is a herder with them, naturally they will not be going anywhere. They will obey the herder.
Okay, so they should be allowed to graze with an herder.
Yes. See, herding is a planning process. Herding is not just leaving them on some ground. No, it needs pakka planning. Don't downsize a herder. He has to plan where he should take tomorrow. There is a reason why a cow is taken or the herd is taken to a particular place.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Those things will be coming in the function part. Don't worry. But still, I'm just telling you. But it's not that they are let loose. They have to be herded.
Okay. Thank you for that.
Okay.
Thank you. Next question is from Prashant Chaudhary.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. My question is more about the weeds. So basically,
more about
we are saying
more about
weeds.
I didn't get weeds. Okay, weeds.
Weeds. Yeah. So basically, in the Purna thought process, we think them as something supplement. So the earth or the system is trying to regain its balance, maybe.
Yes.
And in fact, like I used to think the similar fashion. So we have a lot of Congress grass, and I was thinking like, okay, the earth may be lacking nitrogen, that's why it is growing more of it, and then trying to cut them and dump them over there so that the land gets it back. But then at certain point in time, it starts impacting the process of agriculture itself. I mean, at least the way we understand the process of agriculture. So now, how does Purna think about it? That when it starts impacting the profits, or is it expected that you should continue bearing it until the system completely recovers itself?
Yeah, that's a very good question, and it's a simple thing only there. That why did a particular plant come? See, it is like a skin infection. You have a fungal infection in your area, so there's something wrong. That some disturbance has happened to that particular area, which is the cause of that. The same way, some action, some decision that we had taken in farming that particular area has caused to the profuse growth of a particular type of plant. So then how is it that we have now understood? How is it that it came? It is because of a decision we have taken. And what is it that influenced our decision? It's a paradigm, competition. That is, monocropping is what led to that.
Right.
So then until and unless we change those practices, that the paradigm, there is some competition here. So unless and until you bring back that missing biodiversity, so because you are growing, maybe you are growing only rice now. There are some other plants also that is supposed to be growing there, which you have removed by killing through weedicide, or manually removed. So those deficiencies can be corrected only by bringing back the biodiversity. So only when you remove that paradigm of competition and take a right decision to grow with biodiversity, plus certain healing practices, like when you have a livestock moving on land and all those things, when it comes in, naturally this will go out of the system. See, now it is almost 1 year since we started this course. Many of the participants who were having the same question of Congress, now they are in the process of eradicating it without any chemical, by just moving the animals over it. So that's a technique that we have to do, but that technique is it is starting with a decision and a paradigm. So you now have the paradigm that this is a Purna system, and now you know that it is bringing back the original system. Yes, good. Now there are some more practices have to be followed, which we will be telling in tomorrow, the next Saturday and Sunday. Then all this we can reverse it.
Dhanyavad, Prabhu. Dhanyavad. That gives so much of a confidence, because I had been trying to follow it since a year now, and getting more and more frustrated, depressed. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yes, bro.
Thank you. Thank you, Prabhu. The next question is from Ashwin Rajput.
Yes,
good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hi. My question is more regarding, I think, the profound concept of Purna that you mentioned, right? And how the whole ecosystem comprising of all organisms are coming together.
Yes.
Now, I fully understand and appreciate the concept of, the domesticated animals, right? And pests and all, how they help us understand where we stand and eradicating the wastage. But my question is more around, we have groundnut crops and it's like almost across 10 acres, and you typically have wild boars or monkeys coming in and damaging the crops.
Yes.
Now it gets difficult, right, to appreciate how the whole system is coming together and why are they coming and attacking. I'm just trying to get some perspective, like, is that expected, or how do you see that in the context of the overall ecosystem?
Yeah, definitely, Prabhu. They are coming to shake us. Hey, you are not using the biodiversity. You are growing only groundnuts.
Mm-hmm.
They are coming and reminding you.
Okay.
You need to change the way you see things.
Okay.
Then,
I mean, one crop, we go groundnut, jowar. There are like 4 different crops that we put. It's not just one crop.
okay,
I'm just giving
still, it is, you are considering only one species, no?
Mm-hmm.
You are growing only for one species, no?
Okay.
That is the problem here.
So you're saying primarily it's monocropping, which is what they're trying to indicate indirectly that we have to address.
Yes, Prabhu. You see, monocropping, what is monocropping? Monocropping, don't think when you are growing rice, that is what is meant by monocropping. Monocropping means, for what are you growing? You are cropping only one species, human beings.
Okay.
We want only human beings here. The other species not to be there. That nature doesn't function that way.
So we're doing mostly human doing. So we have that's what the underlying.
Yeah. See, that is why they're coming and telling, I am also a being in your system. Where is my role? What is my role here? So then we have to, that means we need to change the way we are taking our decisions. For that, we have to change the paradigm that we are not the only species here.
Okay.
See, in my property, the boar, they do the delivery also. Childbirth also is taking part in my property only. They have not yet damaged any of my crops.
Okay.
So that is why I'm with that conference. I'm telling you, if I have planted a wrong thing there, sure, like when I had planted some banana suckers, some suckers they damaged, but they didn't damage the good suckers.
Right.
See, even a chameleon in your system has a function. They are excellent pruners. See, okay. If you have failed to prune, and that is what I am experiencing. Whenever I have failed, I am with assistant to prune my jackfruit tree because I want it to grow fast. But he comes and prunes. Now it is a super branching has taken. I didn't prune, he did it.
Okay.
So that means we need to change the way we see things. We have to bring in their function also into the system. Not only, we are not the only species. So cropping, when you say monocropping, don't think that you are growing one crop. That is not monocropping. Monocropping means you are cropping only one species, human beings.
Right.
Prabhu, in the remaining class, as you understand more, I think that answer also will come. But good you ask this question because you will get time to think. And don't worry, we have a group in that you can again post questions which we will try and answer.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And any more questions from the participants? And of course, we have a few questions in the chat box.
Yeah, Prashant Chaudhary has come.
Yeah, Prashant Chaudhary, Prabhu.
Namaskaram, Prabhu. Dhanyawad for a very good session. Sorry, just the question cropped up in my mind that, well, as you were just explaining the function of chameleon or not, yes. It cropped up that the mice or rats are a big nuisance to any farm or anything you kept over there. Now, these are considered to be problem makers normally. Now, how could we think about their utility?
Exactly. That is how, see, the problem is not that, see, a rat, a boar, they are all resources. They are not problems. The problem is in our decision making. See, any problem, the cause of the problem is the decision we have taken. And what is influencing our decision is our mindset. So now in our mindset is there is only one species. But in Purna, it is not one species. There are 84 lakh species. When we start to understand that there are 84 lakh species, and it is the complexity of this 84 lakh species that will bring abundance, then we will never call a rat a nuisance. Because of the digging they do to aerate the soil and the quantity of water that those the pits or the holes they have dug, if you understand, Prabhu, you can't imagine the quantity of water they are facilitating to be harvested in our landscapes.
Okay.
That is their function. That is their function.
Right. That's interesting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any more questions from the participants? And Sree Kumar Prabhu, can you able to see the chat box? There are a few questions in the chat.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes.
So in that, better to ask doubts from today's topic. We have challenges with wild boar. That was answered. How a new farmer on a space of 1 acre should start with that will come in the function, Prabhu. Babli, Prabhu, I'll be answering that in the 4th session. It will come, so don't worry. That I'll answer. We've covered. Yes. No question. Yes. What is this question?
No, there are a few. 1 minute. Let me read out. There is a question from Ashwin Rajput that we have challenges with the wild boars and
that was
monkey
answered.
attack in
No.
our farms.
Yes.
And I don't know who is 1 plus or not.
Yeah, one good question Geeta Mataji has told. In such case, we don't.
Yeah.
Excellent. That's a good realization.
Yes.
That's a good realization. If we are able to form a community, what is the need for fencing? What is it that the fence is telling? Your property and my property are managed differently. That is what a fence is telling, no? See, when you see a fence around an airport, what is that telling? The airport authority is telling, we are not managing this property the way you are managing. That is why a fence comes. But if the adjacent people are understanding, both are managing in the same way with the same paradigm, what's the need for a fence?
Yes.
But it needs a community, a good thinking between the neighbors. Then only it will happen. But there is a way without fence.
Yeah. So another question is Hare Krishna Prabhuji, how to manage a newly born calf, which is what is the milking frequency? That is covered. That will be covered in the future upcoming sessions.
It is there. But if you have a calf, it is born today or so, then I will give an answer. You keep the cow and the calf together. That is the frequency they will decide.
Yes. Thank you so much for the.
Can we have list of topics for each coming day? Ashish Nagpurkar.
Yes, we will post it. We'll post it in the group today. Okay. So, any more questions from the participants? And also, all the participants. It is now everyone are in the group, and also our faculty members are also in the group, and they can interact and they can ask the questions in the group as well. So anytime we are ready to give answers to your questions. Okay. One more. I think somebody has said. Okay, Dhanyavad. Okay. So we will end this session for today. And thank you very much, Sree Kumar Prabhu, for the today's session. And also thank you everyone to all the participants for joining with us. Let's meet on the next week again, next Saturday, with the new topic. And the regarding the, once again, I would like to share with all the members that all these sessions are being recorded, and this will be uploaded in the YouTube in a shortly, because I'm traveling actually, because I have to do edit and I have to upload in our YouTube channel. That takes little time for us. Till then, kindly cooperate, and definitely once it is uploaded, we will put the link in the group. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Sarve jana sukhino bhavantu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.